Hello there. Today our focus is going to be on figuring out the formula to find the volume of a cylinder. But we're not going to start with the cylinder. We're going to start with a box of Jell-O. We're going to start with a prism first, something that you already know how to find the volume for before we move on to how do we find the volume of a cylinder. Okay, let's get started with the prism. To be able to draw this, let's go ahead and let's draw a rectangle. And from this rectangle, let's draw, and these lines need to be parallel for the top and the side of our box. So these lines, if you can make them parallel, it'll make it look a whole lot better. Connect these lines so that you can see what the box looks like. So now, when we find the volume of a prism, I know that you guys know that there are 3 dimensions that we are given. We are given the length, the width, and the height. Does anybody know what the formula to find the volume of a prism would be? If you said that the volume would be length times width times height, you are correct. So I want to look at another formula that might be used as well. And for this, we're going to need to finish out our 3D figure. Remember this little side length that I put here? I want you to make another one with dotted lines down here in the corner. And then with the dotted line, I want a parallel line coming down. And then this is going to be parallel to the bottom, and it's going to connect to that corner. So now we can see the actual 3D bit of this prism. We can also see something else. This piece right down here is the base of our prism. It's what the Jell-O box is setting on. It's setting on the base. So this right here is the base. Now, the base actually has an area, so we can actually say the base area. And to be able to find the area of this base, we would take length times width. So another way to describe the volume of a prism, instead of length times width times height, another way would be volume equals base times height. Now, the B is capitalized because that means there is another formula within that variable. So the base, which we just found here, was length times width. It's really saying the base is length times width, and then we would have to take the height. So that's how we find the formula for a prism. So now let's use that knowledge to be able to find the formula for a cylinder. I'm going to go ahead and draw a cylinder just like we did the other day when we were making our 3D sketches. And if you remember, we do have a height for our cylinder. And it does have a base that it sits on. There is a base. Now, the base of a cylinder is a circle. So does anybody remember how to find the area of our base, which is a circle? If you said the area of a circle, let's just go ahead and put here. The base area is a circle, so the area would be pi r squared. You are correct. So now let's go back to our generic volume formula, which is volume equals the base times the height. Well, in this case with our cylinder, we can tell that the base is a circle. So my capital B will not be length times width this time. It's going to be the area of my circle, which is pi r squared. Once I have my area of my base, I can take it times height, and then I will have my volume for my cylinder. I hope this helps as you continue working on your piñata project. Stay tuned for tomorrow when we get to going with cones.